How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's ready for more great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It is time for I would appreciate if you could stop killing me every time I start streaming, chat. Come on. Why is it that every time I have to start, I just end up dying? I don't like that, okay? Alright, so I got my tea brewed up. I'm ready to go. We're going to start with episode 4, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. But yes, how's it going, everybody? Hello, hello. Let's get started. Episode 4 begins now. What will go on with Naruhodo-kun this time? Episode 4, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Kokoro!
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes,
Oh.
turning his head languidly in my direction.
You beat Metroid Dread, congrats
There
on
is
that.
more to this case
I wonder
than
if
that which we have
our
observed.
lovely man, Mr. Sholmes, will show
Indeed.
up in this chapter.
But there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His
Oh,
eyes wandered,
Wait,
following
tea?
the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea,
Herbal tea!
leading him
We're both drinking
to
herbal
the
tea!
distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young
Similar
lady
things.
collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road,
Oh,
and to the knife in her back.
the tea went to a
In the
knife in the
soft glow of
back.
Gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under
Oh,
the cover
boy.
of the white fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Who will be the killer of this chapter? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Who planted the knife in the back? Alright, now we're in the game. Brutus Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice's office. Is the big man Lord Chief Justice? Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious, I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the ship, I wasn't gonna waste a single inch of that space. I was spread out like this. This is how I sleep. Spread out like a starfish. I am the starfish. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to another. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. So, has anyone else slept in a giant bed and then... So, here's my conundrum, chat. This is my conundrum. So when I'm sleeping on a bed, even if it's like big, somehow I don't take up all the space. I take up like one side. I sleep on the like near the edge of the bed for some reason. Does anybody else do that, or do you take the whole bed? For some reason, I just can't see myself taking over the whole bed. I take like an edge. But yes, what's going on? Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting. I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money will put a roof over your head for a whole year. £3, huh? I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Oh, I really am sorry. A year in Japan for £3? That's an insane amount. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. Is that so? Good morning to you at this early hour. Oh boy, Mr. Big Guy. Oh, yes, well... Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Susato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart. By the way, chat, audio okay with everybody? Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening, thank you. And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed this duty to the end. So, to those who don't know what happened in the last stream, so last time, we were helping out this guy, and apparently, we got him not guilty, which is good for my case, but he is very sus. He was very sus, and we try to find out the truth so he can be guilty because he did some sus things, but he got off scot-free. That was episode 3 right there. But in the end, I believe that now that I got the guy not guilty, I can be a lawyer in London. I can be the London lawyer. Yes, I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh! No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now. Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? The truth? Oh, are we gonna get a repeat of what happened last time? The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, has been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. So this is the guy, McGilded, McDonald. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Top of the morning to ya. I gotta get that Jacksepticeye voice in. Laugh. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo. It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. But then the case did end with somebody trapped inside the Old Bailey cart, so it was presumed that he got burned alive. Somebody did die last time. By the way, is everybody having a good weekend so far? Well, you need not let it trouble you a second longer. Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGilded. So he did die in the cart. When the cart burned away at the end of the last episode, that was him. Holy crap. So we got confirmation it was him who died. What a turn of events. Hold on, I gotta drink my tea for a second. No, it's still too hot. My weekend has been fine. Nothing crazy, but nothing bad as well. So Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. No! What? Mr. McGilded is dead? And then the birds start flying away, right? I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. We need to know the details. McGilded became McDeaded. Would you like to see my armband? Lord Strongarm, may I show you this? To accept this item... Okay, it's the same thing. I was hoping he'd say something different. He's gonna be like, it's gonna take 24 seconds of my time. He's like really, really precise with his timing right there. By the way, to everybody who's wondering about next week's streaming schedule, it's pretty much gonna be the same thing. So it'll be Resident Evil 7, Nuzlocke, Binding of Isaac, and Great Ace Attorney once again. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Yes, I had to examine that thing. Imagine going to court and seeing this in the courtroom. Yes, of course, that was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No. How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded. That's awful. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. So somebody, we don't know who, burned up the omnibus. That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened? That is also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded didn't mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Top of the morning to you. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. Ah, yes, bad accents everywhere. An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. Practice makes perfect. Wait, what does that mean, Carrington? Also, welcome, Play Carrington. How you doing? Leave it to the police. Practice makes perfect. Oh, the accents. Yeah, the accents. I thought you meant like burning the omnibus. If you do it once, you can do it again. Poor Mr. McGilded. So the thing is, there has to be a mastermind. Mr. McGilded said too much, and then he just got burned. What the heck? This is already darker than most other Ace Attorney games. So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? It's like a bike. Okay, accents are like bikes. If you keep riding on it, you'll get better. But if you fall off, your accents are still gonna stink. But I'm trying though. For some reason, when I go to Mr. McGilded, I go for the Jacksepticeye. Top of the morning to you, laddies. It's me, Mr. McGilded. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was wow. Mr. Notterholden means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow, Susato-san has such a way with words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right... Susato acting mighty sus towards me right now, Susato. Hold on, chat. I gotta see if my tea is fine enough. Oh, it's still pretty hot, but it's some good tea. My goodness, Susato. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. Also, can somebody tell those birds to stop flying away? Every time he does that, the birds keep flying away. Where are they keeping all these birds? The most advanced in the world, is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair. Simple? That was simple? That was anything but simple. As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. I don't mean to be contrary, Lawrence Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. This clock won't work. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. And a death. So, chat, to everybody who plays Ace Attorney, he's giving me Major Grant vibes. Like, what's his name again? It's like something Grant. Let me see. Rise. from the ashes, Grant. Who's Grant? First name Grant. Dang it. Give me a name. Well, I want to give me a name. Not that. Oh, wait. Maybe this is it. Grant. The flip is Grant. It's something Grant from the friggin' Rise of the Ashes cases. It won't give me the name. Is something funny? No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Well, I guess you're going back to Japan. Goodbye. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. Wait, what's going on? What was he gonna say before? The new case. Let's see what the new case is all about. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me it's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes. No, it's a mass murder and the trial starts now. See ya. Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. It's more alarming. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? Everybody can they? Like, Susato reads his mind. Everybody can read his mind. That is to say, no one has died. As yet. Then he just kills me. I'm the victim. Ooh, still hot. And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. So the trial's tomorrow then. Is everything alright? Oh yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilda's trial. Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. I'm just getting the worst people, aren't I? Oh, if the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. Yes, that's right. Here we go again. Was that everything we needed to talk about, Mr. Justice? Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday you remarked upon something sus that you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. Oh. Not Kazuma. Rip Kazuma. Why they treat him like that though? Why they do my boy Kazuma dirty like that? I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he can change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh, I didn't mean to open that. Another thing? Continue. On the way here on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he ever made... So you're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. Well, you're not close to him like I am. I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. Oh, I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. Wait. Is he holding... Are those potato skins? Can I get a potato skin? He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been there? To be honest, I was expecting Mr. Herlock Sholmes to be like up on the pillar or something, like holding on to it for dear life or something. So I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell. Bye. There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. Hi, detective. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. So... There's nothing else I can do. I guess I gotta talk to him. Can I get a potato skin? Wait, potato skins on a cone? He should... Wait. He eats them. And then he just pops more up. He has infinite potato skins. Now that is a dream right there. I would love infinite potato skins in a cone. That is absolutely tasty. Could we trouble you? What do you think? Ugh. Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Ugh. Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eating out of your hand, you know? But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here happening to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? Haven't seen Grayson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Japan? Ugh, what that's a fake country. Oh, hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to taters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryonosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Sauce. It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? Grill. It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable! How did she pull that off? So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson, Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? Wait, what's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Who is this man? Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? That is my name, don't wear it out. You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him very well, in fact. Very well. Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rants the Magazine? That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? Is he really that great? I don't know, he seems a bit of a doofus, but he is great in that regard. That's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Death. Grayson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. The pick of a bad lot? So he's saying that he's still bad. That's still insulting. I gotta start chugging this tea before it gets nasty. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folks are like. Can I eat that? I'll take a bite of that. Thank you very much. I'll take some. Bring it over here. Thank you. I'll take some of that. Can I get some potato? I want potato. Give me potato. Give me potato. I want the potato. He won't hand me the potato. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps the sudden rise to fame does change people. Let's talk about the case, Mr. Gregson. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. He put away his taters. Nothing to tell, really. By the way, chat, what do you think about the voice I give Gregson? Are you fine with that voice? As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital unconscious. It's a cool voice for— okay, thank you, chat. That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? Put my hand down. I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now. I get flipped over. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barrick von Zeeks. Zeeks is back. Let's go. He's this freaking extra guy who drinks and throws glasses at the freaking lights and puts his foot on the desk, being all Sasuke and Edgeworth fused together as one. Sasuke Worth, Edgesuke. Hold on, I gotta finish chugging this tea real quick. Give me a second, chat. Barrick von Zeeks. Oh, okay. Near the end, there's just so much peppermint to drink. There's a lot of peppermint. But the tea does help me out, so that's good. No! Sounds like you've heard of him then. Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey. And there it is, the Reaper of the Bailey. Let's talk about Mr. Zeeks more. Lord Barrick von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? Top of the morning to— oh, okay, it's just Zeke's. When Van Zeke stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. That extra animation he does, and in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been danged. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname, I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. And what of it? Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus McGilda came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Or are we really supposed to believe that? These are delicious. Would you want one? Right, well, I filled you in as requested and I'm very nearly out of chips. Oh yeah, they're not potato skins, they're chips, like fish and chips, so he's eating chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place? That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already? He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell he is. He'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. I wonder who we're defending this time. Please let it be a character. I want it to be a character, like someone funny or silly or something like that, in a serious case. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Fish and chips, a British classic. I think I've seen places that serve fish and chips, but I don't know what kind of fish they serve. I don't know. It depends on the fish. I never had fish and chips. But if I had french fries all the time, I could say I had chicken and chips. Oh boy, my favorite food. Fried chicken and chips. Is something troubling you, Miss Naruhodo? I keep opening up my inventory. To tell the truth, when I recalled the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... sea bass prop? Oh yeah, the sea bass, the most caught fish in Animal Crossing, I know. By the way, is there a confirmation of when the Animal Crossing Direct is happening? I'm still waiting for that to happen. Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage too. But if the man they arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? No. And the game just ends right there. That's the end of the game. Thanks for watching, everybody. Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Is it the 15th? Is it? So that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wait, it's on a Friday? Is it really on a Friday? Also, look at Susato go. Let's go. Susato style. Let's go. I was not aware it'd be on the 15th. Huh. Did they say what time on the 15th? Alright, let's go to Briar Road. I should probably research it myself, I guess. Wait, when is it happening? I need to know myself. When is this? Alright, here we are on Briar Road. Ooh, it's so snowy. Look at that snowman. Chat, tag yourself. Who's the snowman? Who is this snowman? I love that snowman. So 10 a.m. Eastern Standard. I don't know if I'll stream it, but I'll try to do a reaction video of it, I guess, depending on what they announce. So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know? But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close. But yeah, that's 10 for me. 10 a.m. for me. To a real Bobby's helmet. Bobby? No. Everything reminds me of Bobby the Bomb-On from Origami King. Why must everything remind me of Bobby? Next up, Bobby helmet? It's just Bobby as a helmet. Hey, Sidetrix, how you doing? What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. I mean, I haven't played Animal Crossing in a very long while, but I'll watch it. I want to see what's coming up because I think I have to record more Animal Crossing. People are asking for more Animal Crossing. I don't see Inspector Grayson anywhere. Shall we see if we can sneak past and investigate the scene of the stabbing? Why should we sneak? I don't want to accept one of the Bobbies and be butted on the head by one of those metal helmets. My skull will crack in two, I'm sure. Oh no, an English Bobby would never do such a thing. This is a land of gentlemen, you know. The land of a Bobby. Hold on, I want to examine the snowman. What a delightful snowman. I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look. You need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his, stealing the scarf. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. But a free scarf though, a scarf is a scarf. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it, wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. Oh, no. Susato is trying to be Susato right now. She's like, I want to get in there no matter what. I will throw a stone in there and get arrested because I get to ride in there. Susato acting Susato. No, I wasn't serious. Probably still not gonna watch it because you don't got school Friday. Who has school? What is school? This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Oi! What are you foreigners doing here? Oi, what's all this then? My name is Bobby. Ah! Oh, we just investigating to see. Conspiring with that mustache fella from Japan, are ya? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have ya? Get out of here before I give you an item. Go on. What's all this then? Oi. He shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. Oh, what about this man? That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little too overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. My British accent is killing you. Oh, that's good then. Oi, what's all this then? It's killing you. That's great. If anybody would like to support the Pixels by Night channel, you can subscribe right now with my British accent. The more you sub, the more I do the British accent. If you like my British accent, it's bad. People from Britain will kill me. The British people will kill me for sure if they hear my voice right now whilst all this in. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. Let's see, anywhere else? Let's look around over here. Wait, what happened to this bike? Who rides a bike like this? All right, chat, which one of you? Okay, oi, whose bike is this over here? Oh, a British bicycle, look. Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. The bicycle fad? Were bicycles even a fad to begin with in the first place? Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. And then we move on to the present day where Phoenix Wright rides a bicycle. He doesn't ride a car. He doesn't drive a car. He rides a bicycle everywhere. If you ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you agree with me. We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Hire a bicycle? How does one hire a bicycle? That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. I'm not doing a video with my fake British accent. People will dislike the heck out of that. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yeah, you're right, cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Not a building like this, it's sagging. Oh, look at the windows of that building there. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment? There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. British! Hey, Kane, how you doing? Alright, Chad, how British you feeling right now? Are you feeling very British right now? The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Aha, yes, that must be the Crystal Tower being built for the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Apparently, it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides, and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition is to be the largest exposition in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it. Something tells me the final case of this game will be at the great exhibition hall. I don't know, something's just screaming to me about it. Just trying to make sure I got everything. I want to make sure I know every single bit of lore about this place, every tiny bit. I'm feeling Irish. Irish, you know. Oh. For some reason, the prisons look more dank and dark. Yes, cell number 9. That's my favorite cell number right there, 9. So these are British prison cells. At least they got candlelight, right? Oh, they're ghastly. It feels like a dungeon. You know what else has dungeons? Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't miss an auto holder. You're making it seem worse. Where's our guy? Apparently our client is in this cell here, but it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to say, yo, Stop biting at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I? Am I a cat as yet with no name? Meow? Meow? Calling me by a number is utterly, unbelievably, unjustably unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what? What? What do you think is going on here? Organa? Oh no, it's Persona 5 all over it. Oh no, where's the gym teacher? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? The tired of complaints was in Japanese. Oh. Oh. Hello? Wait, that opens up? That? Wait, what? Why? Oh, I mean, to pass through food, but still, that's weird. Excuse me, but shh, quiet. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening, even now. I can sense it. Right. So could I ask you who it... There you are. You come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. A ghost? Who is this guy? He is... Susato, yes, yes, I'm feeling the same way. I mean, look at his face, though. He is twitchy. Very, very twitchy. Hold on. Oh, there's the twitch. Yeah, his eye twitches a lot. He's a very twitchy man. We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you prisoner-sama? Japanese by any chance? This is beyond my wildest dreams. Stop crying, you'll flood the cells. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Twitchy? You mean Twitch? Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Ugh, imagine it. It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. Kawaii, I'm acting so kawaii. So hearing the sweet sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damn dark hellhole was a most monumental moving moment. Did he just dab? Who could have guessed that this new client, Lord Strongheart, assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? What compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon! Okay, there he goes. He dabbed. He just dabbed right now. Or Naruto run, whichever one that is. A first-class lawyer? Sure. I'm a first-class liar. Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what happened? Why you've been detained as a sus, for example? Yes, I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent. What is with his movements? I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryonosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume. Natsume Soseki. Would you like to see my armband? Yes, the symbol of one of our great empire's first-rate lawyers. Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side, you'll defend me. Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't why I was showing it to you. Then why else would you show me that? Oops, in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. It's always the best idea to show the armband, right? Every single time. How old is he, by the way? 33. Grayson is 44, Strongheart 55, and Susato 16. Alright, let's converse about you. Let's talk about you. Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias? That's right, Naruhodo-san. You pass. No, no, no! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku, that really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this. It's beyond the pale. Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it? No. What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. A lot of alliterations, just the first same letter but different words in different poses. The YMCA. Yeah. I'll just do that every time I start freaking out. Oh my goodness, they got a donation about YMCA. I see. Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewashy. He dabbed again. Also, chat. Made you look. You must be a man of great standing. Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. The accusation against you, my boy. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? Oh no. No, it's all alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Why would I do this to you? Hey, you all decided to look, okay? You all decided to look. You should have closed your eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What? If I seen the person who did it, you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. Now let's talk about the case. It was an accursed evening just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books and I was on my way back to the accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. Everything was accursed. The stream is accursed. The chat is accursed. My back is accursed. My back is really accursed. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her... Oh! She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. She's a round lady. Oh, he's shaky. How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. She needs to go to sleep for... All right. Thanks for coming by, Yoshi. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Have a good night. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. That just makes you more sus. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous! Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that? I'm different, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people! Huh, some things we have alike. Some things that Slavs and humans can relate on. We just can't talk to people. I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anyone pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Great. So the victim was unknown to you and there was nobody else in the street at that time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? Drum. What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't... There's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Ah! What did you just say? Nothing, I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little too loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't touch the victim and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was in there in the first place? Oh yeah, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective? Could it be Mr. Sholmes? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed busybody, be gone! It's him! May you be cursed until the end of your days, Hairlock Sholmes! I knew it! He's back, baby! Mr. Sholmes? Oh, he is back, chat. He is back. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst into the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police, put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination, devils. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Hairlock Sholmes. It's actually just Hairlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me? This weak, stupid kitten of a man? I wonder what great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were, that's only natural. I was terrified and trembling and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flammery. Flimflammery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. Alright, Apollo. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine? He's not fine now. Was he ever fine? I don't think he was. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo, and when we're speaking English, a simple mister is no more than enough. Oh yes, alright, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. Well, please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? And then I get a choice. I say no. Game's over. Well, why? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. Hold on, chat. It's time for new words with Pixel. What does locum mean? Locum is a person who temporarily fulfills the duties of another. So basically a temporary replacement. So I'm a replacement lawyer, basically. But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer for my great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh, who do you mean? The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness! Why do you say that? Alright, Firebrand, thanks for coming by. For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man will be a waste of time, they said. And of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. That's awful. They're wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So at the very least, I like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, when I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Hold on, I'm gonna share this for a friend. So Saki-san, it's just that... Oh, he's getting sadder. Look at his eyes. His pupils changed. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You felt a disturbing force in the... Wait, what? What? What do you mean you felt disturbed? What? Where the heck did you come from, Nathan? When I look into your eyes, it gives me butterflies. We should be going there, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for. Alright, so we... Oh wait, I can't examine the jail? I want to examine the jail. Anywho, Heart. Okay, Heart, back to you, I guess. All right, let's head back to Briar Road. We got to do some investigating. Oh, look, it's Mr. Potato Man. He's eating his chips. Hold on, chat. I'm gonna be right back and use the restroom real quick. I'll be back in about 2 to 3 minutes. Use this time to get some water, relax, and do what you can. BRB. Alright, shall we get back? Let's do it. Hope everybody's doing alright. Welcome back to the stream. Hope everybody took the chance to take a break and whatnot. Let's continue on with Mr. Grayson over here with his little chips. What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Grayson! This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. So you've been to the holding cells then. What'd you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Dang. Wait, you're Japanese? What the heck? Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. The stone cold air of rejection. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air. That makes it worse somehow. Does it really? Alright, let's converse about Scotland Yard. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am. Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty protecting the city. Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell ya. Oh really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yup. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit. So basically there will be somebody out there tapping on your window with a pole just to wake you up, right? Like, oi oi, what's all this then? Time for you to wake up now. Oi oi, oi oi. Oh, I had no idea. The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. My goodness. 20 miles a day. Do you know how many eggs you can hatch on Pokemon Go with that? That'll be a lot of eggs right there. That's the regulation distance. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Yeah, so to compare that, 20 miles is basically 21-mile trips. If you were to take 21-mile trips, that'd be 20 miles. Or you take one 20-mile trip and that'd be 20 miles right there. Or 4 or 5-mile trips. Or 5 4-mile trips. Or 2 10-mile trips. I can do this all day. Let me see. 20 miles, that's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. Get the joke? It takes a step too far for that. That's a good joke. And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Oh my. And I suppose in between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well? And chase after criminals trying to evade the law. I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly, more alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit. I mean, 20 miles a day while chasing other people, so that's gonna be more than 20 miles a day you're gonna be walking around. I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. I will take your dream and toss it out. I don't want that dream. About the case. It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago. Just there on that open bit of pavement. You was 0.3 away from getting 9.9 with Captain Falcon. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. What's the 0.3? Sorry. It happened at around 5 in the evening 2 days ago. Just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. Oh, classic mode, so you were at 9.6. Oh, I gotcha now. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. I'm sorry. May you have better luck next time. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really? Are you sure? It's yard policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of info to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. All right, cool. Our first evidence, which is not really evidence, a map. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present. I'm sorry to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure. How? Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. There's a witness? We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now? I'd never heard about these witnesses until now. Who are they? Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. Mr. McGilded. Imagine they say, oh yeah, it's Mr. McGilded. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. A policeman? That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked? Nothing peculiar about that, man. Part and parcel of being a Bobby, catching them banging the act and all that. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest, be my guest, be my guest. It doesn't make it less sus. You're right about that. I mean, for some reason now there's witnesses. This always happens, right? You can ask him what you like in court tomorrow. Oh, I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness, so that'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect, I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. What are you bringing him up for? Yes, I love him, but what? Who cares? Was it something I said? The color drained from his cheeks. Mr. Sholmesies, but let's talk about tomorrow's trial. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you gonna defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper, he hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals? The violent ones? That's right. He handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. So of course, we got Van Zeeks who only wants easy wins, the ones who are definitely guilty. Is this like Phoenix and Edgeworth, or the way the fans see them anyways? So, if you're not sure, Mr. Naruhodo is a descendant of Phoenix Wright, and Van Zeeks, I'm pretty sure, is related to Edgeworth in some way. Van Zeeks is basically Edgeworth, the edgiest Worth, Edgyworth, Edgyworthy, Edgeworthier, one of those things. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's gotta be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest. Because I'm involved, that's why. Really? What sort of reason, Inspector? You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? And now he's up. It's like going somebody who's LARPing. Yes, I am the Lord of Darkness. That is me. I am the Lord of Darkness, Van Ziekst. I'm flashy. I drink wine and I throw the glass away. Flash. That's all he does. You have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are we really gonna have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he puts it. The Lord of Darkness. It's me, the Lord of Darkness. I'm the Lord of Darkness. Who did you hear that name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions. Fiddle faddle. Watch your mouth, man. The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Like this one, his mug. Oh, I don't know where he gets his info from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? Edgeworth wasn't darkness, he wanted to find the truth. I mean, if you remember, in the first case you met him, he was known as the guy who forged evidence. He was the evil one, but the more cases you go against him, the more his character develops and you realize he's a good guy. But he was bad because he was raised by Von Karma, that's why. He was adopted by Von Karma and that's how he learned the evil ways. He was dark because of Von Karma. And Phoenix opened up his heart and his mind and his wallet. Mostly his wallet. He is a great help to Scotland Yard though, isn't he? Gibble gabble. I said watch your mouth, man. Ever seen this before? Oh yes, that's Rant's magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventure of Sherlock Sholmes appears. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Sholmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. We work our socks off, every one last one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals. That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Yeah, they don't like each. I mean, he doesn't like Sherlock Sholmes. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful info out of the detective. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, sure, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. Oh, you mean Mr. Sholmesies? By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Holmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, exactly. Look at those shining eyes, you can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address. It's Baker Street. But how do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221 Baker Street. So, if Mr. Sholmes really does live there, did he just dox himself in a magazine? Mr. Sholmes really... Alright. If he's really there, then Mr. Sholmes did dox himself. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah! Summon a carriage! So we're to have a reunion already with the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Excuse me, sir, we're gonna be on our way. Can we really visit, do you think? Oh, pinch me. I'm sure I must be dreaming. If he really... Okay, I think he just doxed his own address. Oh, animation. I like animation. Horse.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day.
Good day. Good day to you. Oh, yo, what's all this then? Good day to you. Oh yeah, I still got the... I'm still carrying Kazuma's sword and everything.
This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock's Shores.
Moshi Moshi, Shomes desu. Looks very nice. So do we break in or do we just jump up to the second floor? We gotta climb up there, right? Oh, I guess we're just inside. Dude, they just let anybody in, I guess? So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. And it's a mess. Oh. It is as described in the stories, Miss Susato. Susato-san? Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Does love bloom on a battlefield? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please, don't mind me. She's obsessed. Now, where's Mr. Sholmes? Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Oh, it's her again. Hello, is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait, aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. It's her from the last case. I'm sure it's the same girl. With the gun. Miss Usato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh yes, isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. The King of Bowaria? King Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund von Ormstein, of course. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there. The tea's brewed and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Oh, this is her theme. Ah, it's you! I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. So her name is Iris. Wait, don't we already have an Iris? From Trials and Tribulations? Is this the Iris before the other Iris? Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilda's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Or you having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh, yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? It's like there's no tea in there. It's just very hot water. Ow, my tongue is burning. Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray, it's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here. And you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend the Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley then? Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, Shirley? She's so, I mean, she is pretty adorable though. Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think? And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me, I haven't introduced myself, have I? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I live here together with Hurley. And the music just pops back on. How old is... She's 10? What the flip? She's 10 and an what's with these young people being everything nowadays? What the heck? I thought she'd be like 16 or 15 or something like that. No, she's 10. Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter? No, wait, this can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. And what are your names? Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely. Susie and Runo. Got it. Susie? And Runo? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. Transformers! I have so many questions for her, I don't know where to start. Susie is just... Susie! Yes, and so do I. Alright, let's go chat with her. But I want to examine the stuff in here because there's so much to look. I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find... Oh, I didn't get anything. What's this here? What on earth is this huge over-the-top machine? That's the great analytoscope. It can analyze anything, really. Anything at all. Her theme is so bubbly. It is. I can vibe to this. That's incredible. It's one of Hurley's inventions. It took him a whole year. He said it was to help him with his investigations and tax evasion. What sort of things has he analyzed with it, do you know? Well, actually, he hasn't used it for anything yet. So he made it but didn't use it? Oh, why not? Apparently, on the evening he finally completed it, it suddenly occurred to him, I don't actually have anything I need to analyze. Wow. So that thing was made for no reason. Oh dear. How about you, Runo? Do you have anything you like to analyze? The only thing that springs to mind is this machine itself. So I wonder if we could use it. We could. A violin. Ah, I've seen pictures of Western musical instruments like this. It's called a violin, isn't it? Of course it is. Mr. Sholmes is renowned for his violin playing. Oh, really? Absolutely. It's often explained in the stories. It's inspirational, Mr. Naruhodo. Inspirational. I immediately started playing the koto, which was the closest Japanese stringed instrument I could find. What a shame you couldn't bring it with you to London. Oh, yes. Well, Papa was beaming when I asked him if he would buy me one. But after a while, he asked if I would only practice when he was out of the house. Wait, hold on. I gotta find out what a koto is. It's time for learning with Pixel. Koto instrument. A koto instrument. Oh, it's like that longboard thing. So, a longboard that you play with your fingers. So it's like a guitar, but you don't hold it like this. It's like a board on a table. You go like ding 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 ding. Huh, that's pretty cool. So now it's merely an ornament in my room. That must have been an awkward conversation. Second rate, I got an achievement for that. Yay. I love it when you just get random achievements just by looking at things now. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. I keep telling Hurley not to cram so much of those shelves. Good advice. He wanted to look something up in one of those books a while ago, but it was so tightly wedged in he couldn't get it out. So he went and bought a new copy instead. This guy's a hoarder, isn't he? He's a freaking hoarder. Just buys another one. I really like this theme. Oh wait, this... Oh wow, that's a lot to look around. You've seen that instrument in a Hellboy movie. Pretty cool. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Lingering beside the fire and watching the flames flicker and dance in the grate. It's so relaxing. We can't relax, not when there's so many interesting things on the mantelpiece. Oh, it's just as it was described in the stories. It is? Yes, exactly. Inside that Persian slipper, for example, are my chocolates for 11sies. 11sies? And transfixed by that large jackknife is my shopping list for the market. Oh, it's not quite how I remember it being described in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Poor Susato-san, she looks crushed. She was expecting something more grand, but nope, it's chocolates for 11sies. Chocolates. It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go opening things. I do it. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? Ooh, that chest contains some of my most valuable things, my chocolates. And that smile tells me you're not gonna give us any clue about what they are. Nope, you're not gonna know anything. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men. Wait, dancing men? I see the shoe. Wait, hold on. I see the shoe, the dancing men? Where's the dancing men? I don't see no dancing men. Oh, bust a Napoleon. Ah, what an entrancing collection. This is the first time in my life that I've seen a lonely old shoe displayed as an ornament. Oh, those are all mementos that Hurley has collected from his past cases. Really? Even the bust? Yes, that's right. When the mood takes him, he likes to throw it on the floor and smash it to dust. I love that. He just likes to throw it. The poor defenseless emperor? Mr. Sholmes destroys it? Yes, and then he buys a new... What is this guy? This guy's amazing. I love Mr. Sholmes. He breaks it, then buys another one, then breaks it again, then buys another one. You make it sound like he has the temperament of an insane sculptor. How entrancingly bohemian of him. Just buys it and breaks it, okay. Ah, that's my blackboard where I note down ideas. Ooh, interesting. Let's see. Black Peter? What does that mean? Don't you want to hear what Iris has to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I'll come back to that blackboard later. Tea! What a beautiful English tea set and so neatly arranged. It's a favorite pastime of mine, a cup of herbal tea in the afternoon. Tea made of herbs? That's right, I grow all sorts of herbs in the garden so I can experiment with different blends. All sorts of herbs and experiments. One moment, don't go away. I'll brew a pot of the special blend I came up with earlier today. She looks delighted. I only hope it's safe to drink. The tea is making me grow large. That's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles too. Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode. What? Explode? Are they exotic chemicals? Do you use them for exciting experiments? Yes, indeed. And as Hurley always says, chemistry is an explosive science. Sorry? I agree. A single discovery can trigger an explosion of innovation all around the world. Or perhaps he just meant it literally. Either way, mental note, do not touch any bottle that belongs to Iris. No bottle touching, okay? Giant typewriter? What on earth is that big black lump over there? Ah, that fascinating thing is called a typewriter. It's a machine that allows you to write on paper without needing a pen. And wizardly quick too. Ooh, that sounds like it could be very useful for someone like me with terrible handwriting. That was just it. Something relatable. Super duper relatable. Alright, I think we examined everything we can. So would you like to see my armband? Iris, can I show you this? Oh, how exciting. What is it? Tell me all about it. Oh, actually, I was hoping you might be able to tell me something about it, if anything comes to mind. Why would it? Well, no, I suppose it wouldn't. Tell me, I want to hear everything. This hasn't gone according to plan. So, I don't know about the armband, and she doesn't know about the armband. Does anybody know about the armband, by the way, chat? What does the armband signify? Hold on, I just gotta fix the face on my head real quick. It's gotta look just right, you know? There we go. Let's talk about you. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey. Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Oh no! Splatoon! Like this? Ah, thinking back now. You left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? Oh yeah, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Oh, Guinea? Yeah, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly, so I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my invention. Oh. Next time you steal it, kaboom! This girl is dangerous. Anyway, I brought Guinea back here after that, so she can apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Hurley, of course, silly. Hurley? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter. So it's like Herlock Sholmes and Iris with Phoenix and Truce. Is it? What was the magician's daughter? Trucy? Is it Trucy? Oh no, I can't forget about her. Phoenix Wright's daughter. Trucy, yes, I got it right. It was Trucy. Oh my goodness, how could I forget about Trucy Wright? Am I a freaking doofus? Sorry. Daughter? Not likely. What? I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner. And they were roommates. You're roommates? I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year. Well, what of your mother and father? Oh no, they're not around. They blew up in an accident. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Wilson! Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, go ahead, Susie. Susie from Delta? I am a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and... Oh, you have a copy of Rant's magazine! Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world. My stories? That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness! Last night, he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So you're the author? Yes, I'll let you on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure The Speckled Band. The Speckled Band, you say, huh? That sounds very familiar. The Speckled Band, that's certainly very familiar. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Strom's first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course, I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you? So do you mean to say, are the stories about Mr. Strom's that are published in Rant's magazine all written by me? Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. Susato-san's getting more and more worked up. Ah, yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true too. I am a doctor. This girl is 10. I'm gonna say it again. This girl is 10. How in the flip is a 10-year-old a doctor of medicine and writing on a typewriter? She's 10. 10. How smart is this girl? She's freaking 10. Dear dang. No, at 10 years old? At 10 years old? Well, that's quite incredible. But, Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Susato's world is like breaking apart in her head right now. She's like... She's like hyperventilating and everything, freaking out that everything she has read, everything she knows about it is a lie. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow. I will be terrified to learn how much Iris knows. So you say, Cytric, so you say. I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san, she looks like her whole world has just fallen apart. Look at that face. My goodness, I'm learning a lot about Iris right now. She's just crazy. Crazy awesome. She's a genius. About before. Yes. What's in your mind, Bruno? Do tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean? I know everything. Chaos. Yes, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Well, I looked up a script and it says you did this. Yes, I read the script of the game. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Oh, she's got the glass. Are those her eyes? Her eyes are really big. Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh wait, are we doing... Wait. Whoa. First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. But you also said that we only just arrived in London. How did you know that? I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. My what pocket? Oh, So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. The Reaper of the Bailey, I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. They used those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial Magnus McGill did, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or relative.
That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see.
But how could you have known that the trial's tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It's obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been Mr. Natsume. Now, Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called the kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. Genius. She's a genius. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. So, yeah, okay, I see. He just... Anybody else enjoys stabbing their notes with a knife? Imagine me stabbing my screen with a knife, be like, alright, chat. Ching! She's very good. 10 years old and she's freaking smart. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Well, was it a winner? Was it a winner-winner chicken dinner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed to certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery. Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please? How do I read the text so fluently, Pixel? What, you mean like not messing up? I don't know. I really have no idea, but if I'm reading it so fluently, then I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. I think it's because of all the Phoenix Wright games I played, there was a lot of text I had to read, so consider that reading practice for a stream. There was so much text to read. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying. Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after a sea voyage, but the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Most streamers stumble every now and then. I'll take that as a victory then, thank you. That was my victory dance. But thank you, I really appreciate the compliment, thank you. Apparently a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. Although I do have those days where I do stumble my words, but that's like on an off day, but it's usually today. I just been knocking it out the park. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty looking stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking, stooped man. Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all, but it seems there were witnesses after all. Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear, eating a sliver of cheese. Hard cheese. Mr. Shom's great deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course it did. He's a great detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying to criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. I guess that's everything with Edis. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we would like to ask him some questions about this case as well. Well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Nuts. Mr. Nuts Ume? Mr. Nut? Not. Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Grayson when you were there? Yes, we know Inspector Grayson. Goody in that case. Give Gregsy this for me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What is this? A 5-shilling piece and a postcard. It's a bribe? Are we bribing Mr. Gregson? Let's go, Iris. A card for Gregson with a message on the back from Edis. It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem." Can I examine it? Oh, I can actually read it. That's pretty cool. Iris' little handwriting is adorable, isn't it? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Yes, the handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no room for sentiment there. I'm sure it's simply the way you're interpreting it, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, do you hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know when he reads it? You don't think it will just make him munch pipe and hot chips until steam comes out of his ears, do you? Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome. Oh, now I want some chips. This is a 5-shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown. Yes, and you can train a Scotland Yard detective to do whatever you want with just a single one. Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world. How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth? Well, it's probably enough to buy all the chips the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month. Dang. That's greasy. But also, that sounds great. I want some now. Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Oh boy, we're gonna bribe him. Good luck then. I'm gonna return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Aww. We're friends with Iris now. Well, Mr. Naruhodo is back to the scene of the crime. Susato doing that thing right there is so adorable. So somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Coins we got. To be continued. Already? To be honest, I was expecting, you know, to be continued like 3 or 4 hours in. This is way too soon for it to be continued right there. Should we continue? I'll take a small break and I'll be right back in about 2 to 3 minutes, alright? So I'll continue on back when I get back. So until then, BRB. I'm gonna take this time to stretch and get some water, chat, okay? BRB. Alright, let's head back, shall we? Hope you had the chance to rest up and whatnot. Take a big of a stretch, get some water. We're continuing with episode 4, The Adventure of the Colada Kokoro Investigation Pardos. Let's go. We're gonna go meet with Mr. Sholmes. But first, we gotta bribe a man with chips in his hand. Back at Briar Road. It looks as though the police are still here carrying on with their investigation. Perfect, so let's find Inspector Grayson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. By the way, chat, I hope you're all doing well. If you're enjoying the stream, thank you for coming by. Ah, there he is. Hey, you want a thing? I got a thing for you. Here you go. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gabouts, that's for sure. A gabagool's a foreign gabagool. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? From me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give that here that once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Yeah. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will ya? Man. What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee, that's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see, you mean... That's right, for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every single time. Oh, that's nice of her. Aw. Yes, of course, I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still, money is money. I am sorry, Inspector, that must be difficult for ya. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says? Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, the little knife-wielding mustache Japanese fellow. He lives in a right old hovel. It's just over there. Look. He lives there? You mean we were there the whole time? On the first floor of that house, on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garadeb? Garadeb? Garibed? That's a weird name. Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Grayson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship. Now he's gonna buy a lot of chips. Yay! Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find in his lodgings? Definitely. Let's go to the lodgings. How sad can it really be? This isn't bad. Also, what's with the apron on the left? Is that his? Pretty kind of messy though. It's like gigantic bullets. Oh. Maid, may I help you? Yes, would this be the residence of Mr. John Garadeb? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryonosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garadeb. Garadeb. Did you say that, Mr. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. I know, as I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I go that far, but what if we do meet a butler and it's like Shelly the Killer's like descendant? Shelly the Killer. We just meet Shelly the Killer's descendant in this game. That'd be great. I'm not sure if I go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Hello. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garadeb will see you now. This way. Oh. Has he just been... He's a freaking crescent. No, he's a boomerang. He is shaped like a flippin' boomerang. Let's go check out the stuff over here. I noticed you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garadeb. Do you enjoy reading? Ever experience a London winter, boy? The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than... Is he stirring the tea with his pipe? Ew. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire. What a jolly good book. Oh, there's a copy of Rant's magazines here, I see. No doubt Mr. Garadeb enjoys the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes too. The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. What about the cannon? That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. That old thing, but that's a little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? It isn't overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garadeb? Always is. Take Joanne here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well in the cannon there, Joanne tells me. Which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. Ouch. That poor cannon. What about this here? Is that war stuff? That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing. Not much better than rags, really. Oh? Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Pretty much, let's do that. What about this medal? That looks like a medal of honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. What, that old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it, keeps the bally thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose? There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look, let me see. It says, for distinguished participate. It's a participation medal? It's a participation medal. Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Thank you for being in war. You participated here. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. A freaking participation medal. It's funny. That portrait of Mr. Garadeb is glaring at me, I swear. Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garadeb as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Yes, that old... Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Susato-san doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter. What's this? Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Maybe let's not, Miss Usato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. She will yeet that thing at us. Oh wait, there's more. Ooh, treats. Oh look. What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. It doesn't look straight at all. What happened to the cakes? Lined up, it looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Wait, on the right side, things are broken. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Garadeb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute though. There were at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Yeah, well, naturally, and it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garadeb doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joanne, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous of you. And what are these broken things over here? Look at this crockery in display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is... Oh dear, it's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that China word justice. I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. But I want to know why it broke. Why did it break? Oh, wait, did I check here? Good day to you, John Garrett, about your service. Oh, I aimed at him. Okay, gotcha. That's fine. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maiwan, don't you know? Earned the medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and downstairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. I'm out of shape. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garadev, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really? Hold on. New words with pixel. What is a folderol? Oh, a showy but useless item. It's just flashy, but he considers it useless. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joanne? Let these good people see it properly. Joanne, fetch the— Oh! Dash it all, women, be careful! That was kind of scary. Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it, living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only two, please, and laterally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blightly. We've forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Ever had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rant's magazine here, so... No. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-san's room. It's a bawling nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. Twitching? I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Jolly good show. Hold on, before we continue on, I do want to see the windows. This window looks out over Briar Road where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Does this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. With oh no, the tea. I'm so worried about the tea. About Mr. Natsume. About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garadev, please do tell us. Ah yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodges most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. Dash it all, Joanne, do be careful. Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. Gee, he must have horrible burns then, but I feel like she's using the tea to block out his words. Like she has it pouring on him to stop him from saying whatever he wants to say. I feel like the maid is covering up for something. The maid is being kind of sus, you know. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. As I slapped my cheeks. There we go. Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joanne, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm really wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as sus about the man at all? Yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. The shady logger. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mrs. Natsume? Oh my word, yes, the man was shadier than an orchard. We're not asking you. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is, more than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes at the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else has gone to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I never known the Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh. I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house. Is that correct? That's right, yes. They're both below us on the first floor and street level. Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed. Uh-oh. Ah! Did a great jump. Be more careful, woman. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. The incident 2 days ago. It seems that the incident took place around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone sus loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garadip household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joanne? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as... anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Yes, was there something then? Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but at around that sort of time in here... Oh! For the love of God, Joanne, watch what you're doing. Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Miss Narrow Hollow. Narrow Hollow? Yes. I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Okay, she's covering up something. The reason she keeps pouring that tea is to stop him from saying something. He was about to say something very important. He is being super duper sosh. Hold on, what is this? Boo? Why did you get a reply that Chase says boo? Oh, really, Mr. Garadub? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing. Joan, dash it all, what is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir? Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joan? That's right, Mr. Garadev, that's right. I'm gaslighting you with tea. Gaslight tea. The tea to gaslight somebody, of course. What is the matter with these two anyway? It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what? I wish I knew. Mr. Natsume's room. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor. So it's just each floor is a room, that's just it. No room 1, room 2, room 3, just room. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak. What got in my eye? Something's in my eye. Oh goodness, it felt sharp. What the heck was that? Was that like a really stiff eyelash? Oh. Alright, I think it's gone now. I think. Yes, Tomi Natsu's name had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services? That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean. Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. Oh, wait. East Alexia? Hey, East Alexia, welcome to the stream. What goes on, everybody? Holy flip, I was not expecting an East raid of this night. What's going on? Purple or green? I'm gonna go with purple. I like purple. I do like both colors, but I like purple more than green. But East Alexia, thank you so much for the raid. That was just a big surprise. Thank you very much. Wait, go green? I'm sorry. I like purple though because of Waluigi. You gotta go with the Waluigi killer, you know? But welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to the stream. Also, Ranacor, it's great to see you again. So East Alexia, what were you streaming? What were you streaming to your... Is that a sloth footing? Why, yes it is. Gotta represent my boys, the sloths, am I right? Well, the thing is, it's actually a sloth one. It's just a sloth onesie. It's a sloth onesie, but it's cut in half. So it's now a sloth cape. So yeah, Renicord, thanks for giving a gift sub to East Alexi. I really appreciate it. Enjoyed the emotes. But yeah, to everybody who just came here, so you were just chatting. Ah, nice. So I hope everybody in East Alexia stream enjoyed themselves with the stream. I'm streaming The Great Ace Attorney. So just to let you know, I am a variety streamer. I stream different games every week on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I upload every day on my YouTube channel. So you're welcome to stay as long as you all like. We're all here for chill times and whatnot. You're South Alexia? So where's the West and North Alexia? I'm really curious. But as you can tell, this is a sloth channel, as you can tell, I think. Oh goodness, but feel free to stay as long as you like. It's awesome getting a raid tonight. Thank you so much, East Alexia. Billy, you're North Alexia. I got you now. Dead. Let's see, if you want a dab redeem, you need to grind in around 2.5 years here. Hoard your points. Okay, Ranacor, I don't know what is it with you trying to get me to dab. I don't know why people want me to dab. If you want me to dab, I'll just do it right now. No. That would just ruin everything, wouldn't it? Screw off your Central Alexia. So who's Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, and Southwest? And we need all the Alexias. But East Alexia, tell me more about you. Tell the stream more about yourself. I want to know more about you. Are you usually a just chatting streamer, or do you play any games as well? I want to make sure that the peeps here know who you are. And also for me, I'm just trying to... Is that a cat? Is that a cat right there? That is adorable. So right now, I'm playing episode 4 of The Great Ace Attorney, trying to figure out the mystery of who stabbed the woman. If you collect all 8 Alexia, something terrible happens. So they're not like the Chaos Emeralds. You don't turn Super Alexia. It's something bad happens. North, northeast, northeast, east, 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 south, east, south, 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 southwest, southwest, west, 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 north, west, north, north, Alexia. That was a mouthful right there. What? Just look at the place. If I just collect this Alexia, everything bad happens already. I mean, I don't know though. East Alexia came here with the party and things seem to be going alright. I'm knowing some cool people tonight. And smell it. It's so musty in here. I need to know the Alexia lore. So it's like the Black Star Dragon. Oh my goodness, the bad ones. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Look at the cat though. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. Oh wow, that channel point reward just got redeemed. And weirdly, sloths from my G to dab. This game has better graphics than you were expecting. Is it new? So I'm playing this on the Switch. It's the remastered version, so it's the 3DS game, but stretched. Really stretched right there. No, me neither. It's so dark in here too. Oh yeah, Billy, if it's real, then I should have exploded by now. If it was really real, I should have been like, poof, I would have been gone already. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. My chair is so cute. Ah, thank you. It's the sloth bouquet. I feel like in the future, like, when I get more sloths, the bouquet just gets bigger and bigger. So, let's say 3 years from now, if I do get enough sloths, you'll see less of me, but more of the bouquet. Oh, you like my vibe? Alright, Alexia, thanks for coming by to the stream. Appreciate the support. Hope to catch you again next time, though. I'm glad you like the vibes. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? But yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, it's my way of being different than any other streamer, so when they see sloths, they're like, what's the stream about? Oh, here I am. You know, something like that. Something that just catches your eyes right there. Ah, thank you for the 100 bits, Renako. I really appreciate it. You're trying to unlock channel points for blank.
Alright then. Oh, that's what you're doing. No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrett told us, the right detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Where is... Oh wait, is he hiding somewhere around here?
So, yeah, the thing is, Ranacor, all of that it's all automated. I don't do a thing, so when you change my voice, it happens by itself. And another thing... Oh yeah, I don't hear the voice. So when my voice changes, I don't hear it, but you do, so if I sound weird, do let me know. I want to see the kitty. Ah, look at the kitty. Why is it gone? Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Let's see. Rewatch the VOD so I can hear my hypeness. Gotcha. In Britain, we had a window tax before I was born, and there are houses all about with bricked up windows. So dumb. So you have to pay to use a window? Oh, sorry, you didn't pay the window tax, so we gotta brick it up. It's gonna take about 3 hours, so I'll apologize for the loud noises. You just hear beep, beep, deep, 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 deep. The cat's the killer? Don't say that. That's not cool. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mikke, wasn't it? Did you even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. I mean, if I'm out of the house for longer than a minute, I start feeling homesick right away. I need to be on my chair, in my bed, sleeping. Never getting up again, I guess. Let's check this cat. Oh, look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things. I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Let's see, I want to know what else. There's something we can check in here. What happens if you push this button? What button you talking about? Look at all these books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling. They're all works of English literature and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Yeah, there's just a lot of books around here. If I lived in here, this place would smell weird. I wonder what button you're talking about, though. Oh wait, if you're talking about the follow button, the thing is they're disabled right now because of the hate raids going on. I do appreciate the follow. I appreciate everybody who followed tonight. The thing is, because the hate raids going around, they have to be disabled. So I don't know who's following, but I appreciate everybody who's following and chatting right now. Thank you, though. So until Twitch fixes that issue, then yeah. Because usually that did happen before. I did get like hate rated, but they didn't spam the chat, but I did get follow botted, which I had to like deal with myself, which was weird. So when that happened, like 10 bots followed me at once, but since I didn't react to it, they just stopped. Otherwise, if I were like, oh no, they're following, they would have, they would have continued. Could you even call this a window? But of course, if you did follow, do let me know. I'll thank you. I think so. It was a window at one time after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. So really it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a fit of whimsy. That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. Let's see, our website link's blocked. If not, you can link a website or resources. Oh no, I know, there is a bot that is made right now, the Seri bot, that deals with that. I know about the Seri bot that a Twitch user made to combat these things. But I'm waiting for the actual Twitch fix, for Twitch to actually fix this. Because Twitch is taking a while with their solutions and whatnot. I know we have the options to like, oh yeah, people can't chat unless they're signed up and they're verified with Twitch, but not everybody has that option. So I don't want to block new viewers from not chatting here. So, in a way, we'll see, but let me see if I can just fix that real quick. All right, there we go. So yeah, thanks to everybody who's been following tonight. I appreciate it. I see it, Billy. I see it. But website links blocked, I don't know if they are right now. I think they might be. I think links might be blocked. I don't know. It's been a while since somebody linked me something. It's been a while, so give it a shot. That desk seems to be wedged into a crevasse between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, Surely he drank the books every single night as well. Did you know that a sloth has 3D hair in the sense that it's very thick with crevasses so moss can grow in its camouflage? I wouldn't be a fan of sloths if I didn't know that. Did you know that a sloth is 3D as well? So window taxes. I mean, I didn't think that was a lie. I mean, there's got to be a reason why they're bricked up. Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a secondhand bookshop. Your books. Oh yes, so Mr. Natsume's name is on it, look. And the date of purchase, 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. 1996, huh? I was born in 1993. I'm gonna get my walking cane soon and start hunching over. I'm gonna be like this in like 3 years. No, actually 2 years from now, you're gonna see me stream, I'm gonna be like this. I'm sorry, chat, my back is bad. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Alright, so now we know what happened. He was outside the day of the incident, but anything else we can check about? Oh yeah, the others. Mr. Sholmes, what the heck are you doing up there? He's just been reading there. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. He's just there reading. Ah, there he is. Where did he appear from? Then my sloth cosplay would be more authentic. I am a cosplayer though. I have cosplayed at conventions before. All slow and old. And then I start graying. I just come back and like this suit, like this cape is all gray. Ah yes, it grayed up with age. Not from dust. That's really disgusting. He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes! Oh. Whoa, there he is. Ah, you two, good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Burya. Yes, of course, the Burya. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asogi. He died. Tragically. But you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh! Well, you seem to remember something of it, at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Did we get married and switch last names or something? He's got the genders right at least. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. Mr. Sholmes is a Dumbo, but a lovable Dumbo. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London, but some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short of an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? You forgot our names? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yeah, useless facts like our last names? I mean, I tend to forget people's names as well here, so who are you, chat? I don't know anybody here in chat anymore. My brain attic has left the building, has been emptied out into the trash. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure titled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my prose of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Cyrus, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Alright, let's talk. Oh wait, hold on. I wonder, anything to present? The receipt. Do you know about this? Ah, the receipt for the books our stooped Japanese friend purchased. I uncovered that yesterday morning. A marvelous find, wouldn't you agree? Oh yes, the work of a truly great detective. What a scatterbrained individual he must have been to left it behind. Curiously, there was no mention of this publication on the receipt. Odd when you consider how fascinating it is. You mean not everyone in London buys Rant's magazine every time they visit a shop? Yes, odd indeed. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, how expertly you slipped that into the conversation. Literally, just like slipping in, oh yeah, buy the book where my adventures are in. Sub to Pixels by Night if you like it as well. You know, I'm just slipping down into the conversation as too. I'm just following his I'm just following his thing. He's being a sellout. I can be a sellout too. Ah, I'm glad you agree. Detective stories can be great works of literature too, my dear fellow. When does the shooting start? What do you mean by shooting though? Which shooting are we talking about? We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your stupid compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim, that's the... I pronounced it wrong, it's verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophily? I haven't heard that word before, that's new to me. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure, no, no, no. Oh dear. Oh goodness, that was a lot. Tell me, have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is... service. Service? I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much as my Great Britain primer. And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who are not are beneath that. So, I don't have a maid, so I'm the lowest of the low, basically. But how can I be so low if a sloth is high up on a tree? Am I low or am I high? In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically in the retired Army veteran Mr. John Garadeb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet in... Wow, I'm stumbling on my words right now. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. The dingy room. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Brown bricks. I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax! There goes the window tax. Window tax? What is that? Surely not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness! Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So, some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago, and yet he has all these books. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here, a matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remember that, did you? Maybe buy from his past lodgings? Who knows? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? Natsume, the company that made Harvest Moon? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my client? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. I mean, we can all tell that. That was simple to understand. He is hiding something. Mr. Garridib is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsumi's innocent. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garrideb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Oh, is he? Hold on, I gotta see. Where is he? Ah, there he is. He's just being chill. I wish I can be that chill right there. But chat, I'm going to end it here for tonight. I need to rest up my voice because I gotta start recording things tomorrow for my YouTube channel. But I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Thank you for coming by. To those who haven't followed, please do. Thank you to everybody who's been showing the support tonight. I really appreciate it. Huge thanks again to East Alexia for the big raid. I really appreciate it. I will be back on Wednesday with more Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. The new schedule will be up on my Twitch and my Twitter and Discord either Monday or Tuesday. So my next stream will be on Wednesday. Be back with another game. Until then, everybody, thanks for coming by. Good night. Sleep well. Adios.